The Hassan Bek Mosque, also known as the Hasan Bey Mosque, is considered to be one of the most well-known mosques located in Jaffa, which is now a part of the Tel Aviv-Yafo municipality in Israel. It has been a site of much controversy, as demonstrated in recent years. Its history is closely bound up with the various stages of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. From its beginnings as a communal strife under Ottoman and British rule up to the present, it has been on various occasions the subject of heated debate and eventful controversy, and has a deep symbolic and emotional meaning to Jaffa Arabs. The unique Ottoman-style architecture it displays is known to contrast sharply with the contemporary modern high-rises that are situated near it. It is located between Years.It and the Mediterranean Sea, on the fast road to Jaffa. History. The Hassan Bek Mosque was built in 1916 by Jaffa's Turkish Arab governor of the same name. At the time, Arab Jaffa and the recently founded Jewish Tel Aviv were both competitively expanding and seeking to block each other. The mosque was part of Manshia, Jaffa's northernmost neighborhood, which spread northwards along the Mediterranean Sea shore. The mosque was used by Arab snipers to kill Jews in the months preceding the British withdrawal. According to Yosef Namias, former member of the Irgun unit which conquered the area in April 1948, he and his men planted demolition charges in the Hassan Bek Mosque immediately upon its capture and prepared to blow it up. But this was strictly vetoed by his commander Menahem Begin. The place of the raised Arab housing was taken by high-rise office buildings and a park, as well as the seashore dolphinarium. The Hassan Bek Mosque, spared due to the state and municipal authorities hesitating to be seen as desecrating a Muslim house of worship, remained, together with the building now housing the Irgun Museum of Tel Aviv, the last two remnants of the area's pre-1948 past. The Hassan Bek Mosque lay derelict and neglected for many years, its empty shell used on some occasions by vagabonds and drug addicts. In 1979, it was suddenly announced that the Jaffa Islamic Properties trustees had sold the mosque and its compound to real estate developer Gershon Perez, and that it was to be transformed into a shopping mall. The disclosure aroused a storm of protests by Israeli Arabs, supported by Israeli Jewish peace and human rights groups, who claimed that the trustees had been appointed by the government of Israel, that they did not represent the Muslim community of Jaffa, and that they had pilfered the money from the Perez deal into their own pockets. The outcome was that the real estate deal was cancelled and the mosque returned to the hands of the Jaffa Muslim community. Collapse and Reconstruction. Soon after title was handed over to the Jaffa Muslims, the mosque's minaret collapsed overnight in what was officially described as an accident, but which was generally considered by Jaffa Arabs and left-wing Israelis to be a deliberate sabotage by extreme right groups and/or veterans of 1948. While never investigating such rumors, the authorities gave permission for the Jaffa Arabs to restore the minaret, using volunteer work and funds provided by the governments of Jordan and Saudi Arabia. This is considered by Jaffa Arabs an important milestone in the recovered self-awareness and assertiveness in defense of the communal rights. Up to the present, Jaffa Arabs maintain an ongoing presence in the renovated mosque, and prayers are held in it regularly, though it is a considerable distance from the neighborhood where the surviving post-1948 Arab community of Jaffa is living. Impact of the Second Intifada. On June 1, 2001, a Hamas suicide bombing occurred nearby at the Tel Aviv dolphinarium, claiming the lives of 21 Israelis. A major anti-Arab demonstration soon developed, with over 1,000 Israelis besieging the mosque, with sporadic rock and firebomb attacks along with calls for revenge against Arabs. Arabs. For their part, Muslim worshippers inside the mosque hurled rocks and bottles at the besiegers. This entire event led to over 20 people suffering light injuries from the demonstrators. The rock attacks led to increased Arab violence and attacks in the area, leading to stone-throwing attacks on Yafat Street in the Jaffa section of Tel Aviv. Motorists were injured in the stone-throwing attacks that resulted in closing the street to motorists. The mosque served also as the scene of a provocation against Muslims that occurred in August 2005. Several Israelis allegedly threw pigs' head on the lawn of the Hassan Bek Mosque. The pig's head was wrapped in a keffiyeh with Muhammad, the name of the Prophet of Islam, written on it. Those suspected of taking part in this incident were promptly arrested and charged by Israeli police officials. In November 2005, this event was named as a reason for revenge by Abd al-Muaz Juwaiba, a Hamas sympathizer and resident of Hebron, who stabbed 3 yeshiva students on the way to the Old City of Jerusalem. The stabbing attack killed one, Shmuel Eliyahu, who met while seriously wounding the 2 other boys who accompanied him. Architectural style. In a unique building style, the mosque employs a white limestone instead of using the more common stone of the area, kirka, a yellow-brown calcareous sandstone. The walls of the mosque are perforated with intricately decorated and colorfully glazed windows. The walls are also refined by narrow engaged piers that divide the wide facades into smaller sections. A very tall and slender minaret contrasts with the square prayer hall. It was rebuilt at twice its original height as part of the renovation in the 1980s. A very low tower rises on the opposite side of the mosque. The concrete roof is flat and proportionally low, with a shallow dome over the central bay. The area of the mosque was substantially expanded in the 1980s. Gallery.